Chizaki Show. I'm the Trev. It's too sweet. Anyway, our last coaching vacancy has been filled. Well, at least the first coaching vacancy of the season that hasn't even started yet. Either way, if reports are to be believed, and this has been a report for the last few days, nothing's been official on San Jose or the NHL's website. But if reports are to be believed, and come on, this offseason they haven't been wrong. And if they are, I'll redo this. David Quinn will be the 11th head coach in San Jose Sharks history, replacing Bob Boughner, who was relieved of his duties earlier last month. Let's discuss. So as mentioned, Quinn is going to be your 11th head coach in team history. It kind of comes a bit of a surprise as there were other options they interviewed and could have at least considered. But at the same time, it doesn't completely surprise me given the direction the Sharks are going to go, and, well, I'll discuss that in a bit. But Quinn comes in previously coaching the New York Rangers from 2018 to 2021, putting up a 96, 87, and 25 record in 208 games with only one trip to the playoffs in 2020. I'll discuss that too. Which boasted a 0-3 record. 0-3 because it was a play-in round. So yeah, with results like that, it's hard to picture success being expected. But then again, San Jose isn't New York. So maybe a bit of a change of scenery could be a benefit for him. Hard to say. There's a lot of X factors. If you're somebody who follows how coaches coach and whatever else, there's a lot of X factors in this equation, but we'll see how they play out. Now, as for the Sharks that he's going to be coaching, and we're still a long time before the regular season starts. Well, long in feeling, but very, very soon. For all intents and purposes, myself and the experts included are picking the Sharks to finish 8th in the Pacific Division. That's your division prediction spoiler right there. The only one I actually plan to give you. But the team is now in a serious flux, being they've dealt away guys like Burns, being, a lot of the fresh faces are going to be taking over the club pretty soon. I mean, they still got Dickerchers, they still got the Hurdle, but Quinn coming in being, from what's been told and expressed, very high expectations amongst his younger players, and that could be a good thing and a bad thing. On top of that, Carlson's always going to be your question mark as to whether or not he can stay healthy, and I mean, with Erik Karlsson, you never really know, right? So there's that. It's one of those things, I almost hate to say it. It's going to suck to suck. And I'm sorry, Sharks fans. It's going to suck for a bit. But let's get into my overall opinion on what I think. Now, I mentioned earlier that David Quinn had one playoff trip with the Rangers in 2020. Let me break this down for you. That season and his playoff picture ended on point percentage. If it had ended the proper way or any other way, the Rangers would have never made the playoffs. And by right reason and rhyme, they were only 2 places ahead of the last place team in that playoff picture. And thanks to them going out in the 0-3, that's how they got Lafreniere. But I'm not talking about the Rangers right now. If it weren't for that, why are you bringing on a coach with no playoff experience who replaced a coach with no playoff experience? It's backwards. I mean, yeah, the guy can win. Quinn can win. He has won at the college level back in the 80s. So until you can actually put something to an NHL level, there's no really saying you're winning. And it's worth noting, him and Mike Greer both went to the same college. different years, but they went to the same college. So, I mean, if that takes any consideration as to why Quinn has this job, that's part of the equation, I guess. But usually success is measured by your success in all levels. Look at Jared Bednar. You know, he was a good coach, and now that he's won a Stanley Cup, he's a better coach because he's won at every level he's coached at. And I mean, unless the Sharks tend to prove everybody wrong and not finish 8th in the Pacific Division, then we might have a change of opinion. But I'm sorry, you don't replace a coach who's replacing a coach with no playoff experience. It makes no sense. Either way, it's probably part of the plan. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the Sharks are massively rebuilding, and if not now, they'll be in there pretty quickly. But either way, it's your new Sharks coach. It's Trevs Hockey Show. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate it, especially if you're at this point. That's a great thing for both of us. So since you're here, let me know you're here. Give me a thumbs up. That red button that says subscribe all over it. I don't have to tell you anymore. You should know. Socials in the description down below. So move forward. I got at least one more I'm doing tonight. If I can fit in 2, I'll fit in 2, but one for sure either way. In the meantime, in between time, be looking for more videos from Trev. Later.